today we keep the memorial of two more basilica. A little while ago we had the memorial of St. Mary Major, and today we have the memorial of St. Peter's, the basilicas of St. Peter's and St. Paul's. Now, just as we put up a tombstone or a plaque for deceased relatives or friends, so too the basilicas of St. Peter and St. Paul are memoria for the deceased, for those two apostles who did so much for the church, the founding church. Round about the year 83, a church was erected over the tomb of St. Peter. And that has remained. Yes, I forget how many, but more churches than we could imagine have been built on that site. I shouldn't say more than we can imagine, because that would be exaggeration. But I think the current St. Peter's Basilica is about the fourth or the fifth church that was built over the tomb of St. Peter, which remains there. And his remains have been there for the entire time since his death, with the exception of a short period of during the Valerian persecution. And it's the same with St. Paul's, known as St. Paul's outside the walls. A church was built over the tomb of St. Paul. And this was venerated and well patronized in memory of St. Paul. And in the early 19th century, if I remember correctly, there was a devastating fire that burnt the basilica to the ground. A new one on the same site, same dimension, was erected, and that is the building that we have today, St. Paul's outside the walls. An interesting fact about this is that there's a record in mosaic of a picture of every pope from the time of St. Peter up to the time of St. John Paul II. When I visited St. Paul's outside the walls, St. Benedict had not yet been put up. He's still alive anyway. It's important that we remember these founding fathers of our church. They did so much, and they still do through their intercession.